Okay, we're gonna try. Okay, we're gonna try this way. We're gonna try doing. Okay, I'm back. Anybody's watching, please let me know. Hopefully this will actually go a lot better. Regarding, I think I need to move it closer to my mouth here. All right. Um, I just want to. Okay, so we're gonna try this again right now. I'm sorry about the last live stream because I had no idea what was going on. So, so if anybody's watching, please watch right now. We're trying to do it this way. Let's try to do it without the headset. So, give me a second here. I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this to record too, or I can just pull it YouTube later. I can just do it that way. Um, so right now I said 12:30, but we're gonna do it right now because I don't know what the heck happened. So I might delete the other one just to be safe than sorry. But right now we're live. So I hope that you will can hear me better on this live stream better than the last time. But so let's try this again because it looks like I can actually hear something out of my that those bars at the bottom here. I can actually see something going. So so we're going to talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So this is our very first live episode of Twin Cities Trekkies. We're trying to use YouTube more often now. The episodes that we did record on our podcast feed are going to be eventually here, but right now they're not. So we haven't put a YouTube video up together in almost since 2022, shortly before Strange New Worlds came out. Um, so we haven't had a really since I think it was episode 41, which was way back then. So we're live now. Um, I'm just letting you guys know I am so sorry about this, folks. I know there's actually things going down on the bottom here, so I actually can know that I'm actually talking. So I know that the previous link I have shared on Facebook doesn't work and stuff like that, but we're live right now to talk about Strange New Worlds. I will just pull this video once I get it done, and I'll make it a video. I'll make it an audio version. But like I said at the beginning of the last live stream, this is our very first live episode of Twin Cities Trekkies. Like I said, we're dusting off this YouTube channel to do more things with it. So I was struggling trying to figure out how to talk about Strange New Worlds, especially since these are the first new episodes in almost 2 years. Um, definitely with that. We definitely. I was struggling trying to figure out how to best go about reviewing these episodes, talk about them, and stuff like that. So I just wanted to. I thought, oh, maybe a live episode would probably be better. Because I thought maybe because I know other people do it. I know other people Star Trek podcasts do it, like Mission Log, Captain's Quadrant. What's it called? Strange New Pod do it. Okay, so we have someone watching now. I just want to know if this person can actually hear me this time. So I'm using the microphone off my computer. So hopefully this will go a lot better. But yeah. So I like I said, yeah, I was struggling trying to figure out how to best review these episodes because last year when we had Star Trek Discovery, the final season of Star Trek Discovery, I did mini episodes and I did them every 2 weeks. And I did that. I didn't review Lower Decks, but I did definitely do Discovery because it was fun to do. So I did mini episodes every 2 weeks. talking about the 2 episodes that were out, which I did 5 episodes of that, and stuff like that. So we talked about that, and then yeah. So I was, like I said, I was struggling to do this and stuff like that. So Twin Cities Trekkies, we have been on the air for, my goodness, almost 4.5 years now. So we're gonna, yeah. So like I said, this episode will be in the live stream, will be in the feed itself. Yeah, yeah, it did, Ed. Yeah, it's so much to it. Yeah, I mean, I did Lower Decks a couple times on this show already. One of them talking about season 2 when it was ending, and then when I talked about it with Lars from Treknicity last year. So yes, so definitely, Lower Decks was definitely daunting. So, but definitely, like, if you heard our Your New Trek episode that recently came out, what the moderator asked about, which was recorded at Convergence, asked us all what was the best part of season 5, and I said Jolene Blaylock's guest appearance. So that was actually my highlight of the season. So hearing her voice for the first time in that, which was then 19 years. So doing T'Pol again. So yeah. So like I said, I was struggling trying to figure out how to review this new episodes of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Yes, it was great to hear her, Ed. It was really great to hear her voice. And I applaud Mike McMahon for getting her on the show. I really do applaud her 100%, because it's just it's how he got her on the show is amazing, and I hope that she will actually eventually. I'm hoping that she will be on the Decon Chamber with Dominic and Dominic Keating and Connor Trenier talking about Enterprise. I'm hoping. That's my hope eventually, because I remember they said it on Shuttlepod show when they did that show that if she ever wanted to talk about their time on the show, she would be doing it with them. So I think she would probably be doing it with them. Yeah, it was great. But yes, the world definitely needs more Trip Tucker. That is for sure. But we're not talking about Enterprise today. We're talking about Strange New Worlds. And I'm sorry I keep on going in circles. But yeah, definitely. I think this is going to work out better. This is better than the headset I have. Okay. This is working out. Great. All right. So, oh yeah. Yes, definitely. I think the world definitely needs Star Trek now more than ever, especially with, like, politically wise. I think we definitely need it. Think of this as Star Trek is going to talk about one thing and talk about all the other at the same time. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true, Ed. That is so true. All right, yeah. So Strange New Worlds. So Hegemony Part 2 is the long-awaited conclusion to the first part of Hegemony, which aired back in July of 2023. So, so 2 years, almost 2 years since the last episode aired. The last episode of Strange New Worlds had aired, and this definitely was a very great follow-up to it. I honestly did not realize they were trying to make. I mean, the Gorn. Personally, I think I think the Gorn is redesigned. I personally don't like it. I mentioned that in the Year New Trek panel that I recorded and released as an episode of this podcast. But they did look a little better. It didn't look like a rabid dog, in my opinion, but but it did look a little better. It was interesting to see how the ships operate, but it was a serviceable follow-up to Hegemony. And I have mentioned this before on other pods, is that Strange New Worlds' gap between Hegemony Part 1 and Hegemony Part 2 is being compared to the Best of Both Worlds from the Next Generation. And I just wanted to say that I was around when the Best of Both Worlds had come out, and I was not aware of all the hype surrounding the Best of Both Worlds because I was only a year and a half old when I was only less than a year old when the Best of Both Worlds had come out, and I just wanted to say that now I've experienced that as an adult. I was worried about what was going to happen. I mean, I honestly believe that Captain Patel would have died. I honestly believe she would have been killed. She would have been. I mean, how else do you get to Pike being with Vina in how else do you get to be with eventually? Yeah, I was very surprised she did not die. I mean, I like how they did it though. I mean, it was I mean, there was I mean, I was generally concerned for her safety because I honestly believe that Melanie Scarfano, who plays Captain Patel, would have been written out of the show because she does that new show on Sci-Fi, and also Winona Earp. So I think she would have. I thought she was going to die because how else do you get to um, Pike being with Vina at the end of the menagerie? I mean, exact being with her. So I just somewhere, some ways, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Ed says at least with Vina, they have already established the fact that he knows her and that there is a relationship from his previous encounter. So perhaps there is a future in just accepting him, especially in the condition that he's in by the time she sees him. Yes, yes, Ed. Yeah, like I said, I was surprised that she survived, but because when actors do other things, especially if it's a recurring character, they can come back whenever they want. But Captain Patel has been part of Pike's life for almost 3 seasons of Strange New Worlds, so going all the way back to the pilot. So and I honestly thought I thought she was going to be dead because that's how like I said, I didn't get all the hype back in 1990, 35 years ago when the Best of Both Worlds came out, but I definitely got worried about Patel when I watched Hegemony Part 1 when it first aired back in 2023. So, but that was how I was feeling about that. So, but it was really interesting to see an updated. Also, I wanted to mention something too about Bernadette Croft is an awesome costume designer. I really want to say that first and foremost. She updated the EV suits that were originally seen in the Naked Time and made them modernized. She did a fantastic job with updating the original EV suits that were seen in the original series episode, the Naked Time, and I love that. It was great. I mean, I love that little nod to that episode with the EV suits because it was definitely something that I had seen those pictures from there was another promo picture from I think it was earlier this year or late last year showing Spock in that thing in a different room, but it wasn't in sick bay. But it was definitely interesting to see it updated. I mean, I have to applaud. I have to applaud Bernadette Croft for updating those uniforms as best she could because she did a fantastic job. She made them actually look an actual EV suits, unlike the original series where you have a shoestring budget and you're putting together like mesh over orange curtains. Because the original series can be cheesy and cheap. Yeah, they did look great for the first time, Ed. Yeah, they did. They did. They looked great and stuff like that. So they were great. I really loved it. I loved it very much. So I give 100% props to Bernadette Croft, the costume designer for Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. because she's definitely carried on from what Gersha Phillips did for Discovery very well. So definitely, she did a great job with that. And I also want to talk about there was a scene in the episode with Pelia and Scotty, and I think it's being played for laughs by Martin Quinn, who plays Scotty, and Carol Kane, who plays Pelia. I think they play off each other pretty well, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how this relationship evolves over the course. If Pelia is going to be for the rest of the series, and eventually we get to the Where No Man's Gone Before crew, especially with strange with them being together in the same room, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, because I their relationship is bounced off each other. It's amazing. I loved it. I mean, I don't know if anybody else did, but I love the reactions from. I mean, I love the bouncing off of each other with Pelia and Scotty. That was pretty great. I love that, because I think it's gonna be great to see, because it kind of reminds me of especially the way they talk to each other. It kind of reminds me of a little bit what Stamets and Reno from Star Trek Discovery. So it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I hope so. That's my hope for these next 8 episodes and stuff like that. So let's move on to the Wedding Bell Blues. Now, okay, so you have a very drama-heavy episode in the first episode in season 1 in Hegemony Part 2. Yes, Ed, that was a really fun episode. Wedding Bell Blues. I think Strange New Worlds is trying to balance between the fun and the serious, which is kind of like I kind of wanted. I mean, I wanted that kind of show. I mean, Star Trek, because the Orville is kind of like that. I love the Orville, so I hope it comes back for a 4th season. But in my opinion, I hope it does come back. But definitely, you got a serious episode, and I really liked how they. But backtracking a little bit, how they. Yeah, I'm glad you love the Orville too, Ed. I'm glad you do too. But so you got. I didn't realize that the Gorn are like doing these kind of things. It actually brings them a new dynamic to this species. They're attracted by, they act like they're attracted to certain things and stuff like that, more of light and stuff like that. So they're act like a moth. So they gave them a dimension that we never heard of before. So they were able to carve out a new niche of that species, because we haven't heard much about them other than done much about them, So I'm not sure if we are going to see more of them before the end of the series, but eventually they're going to be dormant until Captain Kirk, until the Cestus 3 massacre. So in Arena. So like that. But okay, now back to Wedding Bell Blues. I meant to mention that about the Gorn. So Wedding Bell Blues. Now, like I said, I think Strange New Worlds is trying to do the fun and the funny, the funny and lighthearted, and make you enjoy what you're watching, because with the world nowadays, you kind of need escapist media to get away from all the bad news that's going on in the world. But so this episode definitely is one that I could probably watch anytime I wanted to, and still, because watch for this one definitely has replay value. Yes, Ed said, I look at the way Strange New Worlds does episodes like a roller coaster. They'll go high with adventure and drama, and then come down slowly with fun. Yes, this definitely felt like that. So you got the high with Hegemony Part 2, and then you started coming down with Wedding Bell Blues. So, but And I honestly thought, because when I was watching this episode, I had to take a break to make dinner that night, and I was trying to and do other things with my because with my physical therapy as I'm recovering from my bike injury I got over the Memorial Day weekend. Um, I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be Pike and Patel. It was gonna be them at first, but no, it was it was fucking Chapel, and oh man, I love that. And now we got context to the trailer about Spock's hitting Dr. Corby in the face because it was just great. Oh man, and I love this episode because Race Darby, who plays the trickster, we all know it's Trelane, by the way, and I'm going to say that right now. I know it's Trelane. So, because he looked exactly like William Campbell did in the Squire of Gothos. So, exactly, almost exactly, with the hair, the costume, everything. The way he was acting was definitely like William Campbell did in the Squire of Gothos. And I really enjoyed the episode very much because I thought there was some missed opportunities in there because we're now in 2261, which is now, oh my gosh, we are now 3 years into the series, and that's pretty much accurate in terms of time. And it takes them 3 months to repair the Enterprise. Okay, that was another thing about the Enterprise too. I was expecting with all the damage they got, they were going to refit it to look like the one from the original series eventually. So eventually, I was thinking about that, but definitely, definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, awesome, Chris. You can hear me now. Awesome, you can hear me. Awesome. I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad to hear that. It was just really weird. I think it was just my headset, but because I don't know. Maybe it's just do it this way. Use the microphone on my computer, which is right here. So, but definitely, we'll do it this way. I'll do it this way from now on. But but definitely the Wedding Bell Blues. Oh man, it was just funny. I loved it. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you. I got it off of eBay. I used it for my convention I did. So I have a red one too. So but definitely I loved Wedding Bell Blues, all of it. It was just the absurdity of the whole thing was just funny, and I'm expecting, like I said, yeah. I loved Reese Darby. I mentioned that already. He acted like William Campbell did in the Squire of Gothos. He dressed like him. His hairstyle was exactly the same, except his hair was a little more brown than black. But that doesn't matter. But but definitely Reese Darby as Trelane was great, and I loved the whole episode because, like I said earlier, I honestly thought that I thought it was going to be Pike and Patel, doing um, this whole thing, and I thought, oh, okay, all right. Nope, it was Spock and Chapel, and I really loved it, and I thought it was just too funny because the way he drinks that drink, and the next morning he said, "Oh, we're gonna have this wedding." Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I loved it, and the whole ceremony thing. Oh my goodness, they went all out on the costume for Chapel. I know that for sure because Bernadette, because I follow Jess Bush on Instagram. I mean, the podcast follows Jess Bush on Instagram. She said with Bernadette Croft and an Australian designer, they made that design for her, and it was. I mean, I'm applauding the way Bernadette Croft and other people on her staff really try to emulate or make it a modern update to what was seen before. So, especially, yeah. Yes, yes, Chris. Definitely. They do an excellent job capturing the TOS vibe, the music. Looking forward to seeing Jeff Russo at STLV. Oh, he's going to STLV. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Um, STLV is actually on my bucket list, so I've been hoping to go eventually. I really want to go. It's on my bucket list, that's for sure. Because I've always wanted to go, and I'm trying to think about going to next year's Trek Long Island. So for at least try to celebrate Star Trek for, yeah. I would love to. I love to be there. Yeah, I would love to be at STLV or at Star Trek or Trek Long Island, or heck, even the Star Trek cruise. Um, because I am because I would love to do that. But that's okay. I'm trying to. I've been at Convergence here in the Twin Cities for the last 2 years. So, yeah, the cruise definitely. Cruise is expensive. Yeah, yeah. I would love to go on a cruise again. I haven't gone on one in 15 years, but definitely I want to mention the cameo by John Delancey. Can I mention that now? I I think I think yeah, please do. Yeah. I'm laughing because how he just appeared was just something that was completely out of nowhere. And I was um yeah, yeah. I think everyone, yeah, you're right, Ed. I think everyone's been seeing it right now. If everyone's watching this, yeah, they've already watched it. So spoilers abound. Yeah. Uh John Delancey as Trelane's dad. Uh, I think I think we could put the rumor. I think we could put the rumored canon to bed. Putting that the Q and Trelane are one and the same. Um, so I think we could put that to bed. Because even though the episode was made while Peter Dale was still alive, his novel Q Squared from the '90s definitely, yeah. Even Memory of Us updated confirmed his Q-ness. I love that. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we can put the rumor to bed. The rumored canon to bed. Putting that Trelane and Q are one and the same. So, so because everyone who was fooled by him knew he is by Trelane saw him as an Andorian, while everyone else saw him as like us as the audience saw him as who he was, which I thought that was pretty brilliant to do, in terms of how to manipulate the characters in the story to be looking different, but everyone else, like you and I and everyone else who was watching it, knew who he was, but he didn't look like and everyone else in the show thought he was an Andorian. So I think that was a pretty good way to tell that story, because it was really interesting. I thought it was really great, and I think there was a really brilliant idea on the part of the writers and the director to definitely manipulate the characters to see that Trelane was actually Andorian, while we as the audience saw him as he was in the Squire of Gothos. So I really liked that, and I honestly, that was an unexpected cameo. But now you gotta get I thought um, I thought putting John Delancey in this episode was great. And I think the late Peter David would have been proud of that if he had seen it, because his Q Squared novel from the '90s put the two and two together, and now Strange New Worlds has definitely made that canon. So definitely, I really Gene would have loved it. Yeah, he would have loved this. He would have loved that. I think he would have, and that's personally how I feel about it. I think Gene and Gene Roddenberry and everybody else who was involved with the original series, if they were still alive, they probably would have seen this episode and they saw this. They would have going like, "Oh, that's really fascinating how they did that," and I really great, and they would have loved it. I loved it, and I liked the manipulation, and I liked it very much because it's like it was just hilarious, and I'm still expecting a Spock centric hijinks episode this season. So because the last two seasons have done that, and it's run about the fifth episode of the season, they do that. So with Spock and Muck, and then the one from season 2, I forgot the name of the episode. If Ed or Chris can let me know which episode is called that, I think what the episode was called. That would be great. Because I forget the name of the episode, but I do remember Spock and Muck from season 1. So I do remember that. And with charades. Now I remember charades. It came to me because with Spock going like, and, screaming into the pillow. I'm expecting that again sometime this season on Strange New Worlds, around about halfway through, because I'm expecting that because it's expected. We'll have a Spock-centric hijinks episode. Granted, this was one, but because it was all manipulation to get Spock and Chapel together, but I thought, oh, this is going to be fun, and I knew it was going to be fun, and I knew it was going to be fun when I watched it. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Yes. Oh yeah. I liked that they actually put him in the kilt that he had. He did that for when he was on the original series too. For any of the episodes that involved him being a dress uniform. Yeah, Chris, he definitely did that, and I like that they kept that tradition going. And apparently, he's not much of a drinker at this point in his career. And I was going like, oh, that will change. That will change. He will. He said, I don't really, it was Sorry and Brandy, but, he said, I don't touch the stuff, but, he's not much of a drinker, he said, but, oh, that will change. That will change. And I wonder if it's going to be Pelia who drives him to drink. The relationship between those two, I swear he's going to make him drink. I swear she's going to make him drink. Oh, yes, Ed. Yes, he said probably, and I agree. The way the two are interacting with each other already. Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, and Brandon, yeah. No, that was Data. It was he wanted Scotch and it was synthahol, and but then it was a double on whiskey that Picard offered him. Yeah, it was a double on whiskey because it was green and it was alcoholic. It wasn't synthaholic. But it will change. I was gonna say I was watching that part when he said I'm not much of a drinker. Oh yeah, you say that now, but you will in about 5 years from now you'll definitely be saying different. So, oh yeah, I think it's gonna be Pelia who drives him to drink because of all the stress he goes through with her. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. Oh yes. Constant fixing the transporters. Yes, definitely. No wonder Miles O'Brien was drinking a lot too. No wonder Miles O'Brien was like that too. He's always trying to fix the transporters or just being bored on the Enterprise. But definitely, yeah. So I'm gonna give my reviews quick. For Hegemony Part 2, I give it a 4 out of 5. It was a serviceable conclusion to the Hegemony two-parter from Part 1, and now I understand why fans were going nuts in 1990 when The Best of Both Worlds came out, and how much agonizing it was. I understand completely now why people were agonizing 35 years ago when The Best of Both Worlds came out. I do understand. And then Wedding Bell Blues, I give it a 5 out of 5. I'm a sucker for funny episodes of Star Trek. Oh yeah, The Longest Summer. This has definitely been the longest gap between episodes, definitely for sure. For any Star Trek show, because it's been almost 2 years since Hegemony Part 1 came out. So I enjoyed this very much, and now I understand. That's personally as a kid who grew up in the 90s. Yeah. Oh yes, there was. You're right. You're right. You're right, Ed. Yeah, we 1 month longer. So this is the longest one. So this is the longest one. What you're saying, yeah. I thought the Pike praying. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, it was a little weird. But because he right before he said Patel to Patel is like, all right, Dad, and then he got on one knee and prayed. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird, trying to cite the Lord's Prayer. Yeah, it was a little left field, but I am not gonna go too much into that because it's just maybe his father was maybe we don't know much about his parents or something like that. Maybe he was a priest or something. But yeah, it was completely out of left field, but maybe it gave him a dynamic to his character that we haven't heard before. Yeah, I think some of the earlier episodes, Giving In, yeah. I think some of the earlier episodes of the original series, especially, I remember there was A Balance of Terror, in which Angela Martin did a knee down before. Yes, he has. Yeah, so it's an interesting part of his character, and I think Angela Martin did a kneel down in Balance of Terror, so it's a little bit of Catholicism in there. So I can understand why he did. Yeah, I respect the part. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Ed says I respect the part where Pike is praying. I'm not a religious man by any means, but it's the part where he says, "You win, Dad." He's doing anything he can. Yeah, yeah. So you're right, but I going back to what Ed said about the longest break between episodes. Yeah, we did have a 24-month gap because between seasons 4 and 5. So I think it was that long. I think it was like a year and a half in between, because I think season 4 ended in 2022, and then we got season 4 in the summer of 2024. So yeah, I think you're right about the longest gap between episodes. I think this is the longest one. I'm not 100% sure, but but like I said, I completely understand why, because Discovery didn't end on a cliffhanger between seasons 4 and 5. This one did. So now I understand between seasons. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. With streaming, there isn't much urgency getting the next season out like traditional broadcast television. Yeah, that is true. That is true, Chris. 100%. I mean, granted, it causes a lot of fans to be agonizing over it, but I can understand about streaming, stuff like that. And it could be possibly that you end the season on a cliffhanger and it doesn't come back. And I will freely admit that during the strikes, I honestly thought that Strange New Worlds would have been canceled. I honestly believe that. Because if the strike, I believe, I firmly have a belief that if the strikes had gone on past December of 2023, thankfully it wasn't, but I honestly believed that Strange New Worlds would have been on the chopping block for cancellation, because if it had gone past December of 2023. Because I do remember some of the shows that had been renewed on not just necessarily Star Trek, but other shows on other streamers like Amazon and Netflix and Hulu, or Disney Plus and Max HBO Max, they had made renewals before the strikes, and then during the strikes they canceled them. So I do remember one of them was A League of Their Own, which was the Amazon adaptation of the movie from the 90s. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Between COVID and he says between COVID and the strikes, there's a lot of shows that could have gone the way of the dodo. Yeah. I agree. Definitely. And I honestly, like I said, I honestly believe that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I really wanted to like Leave It Alone, but I just couldn't get into that show. I did not watch the show, but I do know that they had renewed it for a second season before the strikes, and then during the strikes they canceled it. Amazon canceled it. So I honestly believe that if Star Trek, if the strikes had gone on and stretched into 2024, we probably wouldn't be talking about Strange New Worlds anymore, because of the expense. I mean, granted, things are a lot more expensive now than when Strange New Worlds premiered 3 years ago. But in terms of production values, stuff like that, things to make manufactured props, costumes, etc., visual effects are a lot more expensive than they were 3 years ago. But I honestly thought that was going to happen. And I personally, and speaking of Strange New Worlds, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I'm excited for season 4. I'm excited. And then my hope, and I'm going to talk about this quick before I end this live stream, is that I'm expecting the 6 final episodes to be intertwined with each other. I'm expecting a serialized story because I'm expecting the breakup of Pike's crew and eventually the merging into the coming together of the characters that we see and where no man has gone before, and stuff like that. Yeah, they're currently filming season 4 and getting ready to start for season 5 in a couple months. Yeah, it's a 6-episode final season, which I think was really stupid because why 6? Why? That's my question to Paramount is why 6? Because we've had 10 episodes consistently since 2020 for new Star Trek seasons, except for Star Trek Discovery, until its 5th season. But yeah, 6. Yeah, maybe it probably was, Chris. He said 6 was probably the compromise to prevent it from being canceled. Yeah, maybe that's probably the case. Because, like I said, 6. Yeah, if I understand, negotiates extra 6, or they would have ended at season 4. Yeah, I think that's probably right. Because I'm not very happy with the way Paramount's doing things right now. I'm really not, but. Chris says Pike's Hair's budget is putting CBS out of business. Oh, Chris, that's funny. I love that. That's awesome. But definitely, yeah. I wonder if we're gonna get a really tall hair by the end of the series. Pike's Peak, or that meme that's going around with Paramount and the Paramount logo and his hair as the peak. I wonder if we're gonna eventually get a really tall hair, because Oh, I love that little. Speaking of his hair, I really like that nod by Patel and Wedding Bell Blue. Is like, what are you gonna do with all your hair products? Yes. Pike's Hair is putting CBS out of business. That's great, Chris. I love that. So yes, maybe it was. We don't know exactly, but that was hilarious. Yeah, it was. Oh man, Chris, that is actually really funny. I really do enjoy that you said that Pike's Hair put CBS out of business. I'm sorry. Oh man, that was a great humor for this Sunday. That's awesome. But definitely, I'm not happy with the 6 episodes, but like I said, I'm hoping that they're all connected somehow, because we got to get to the ending of Pike's crew and the breaking up of Pike's crew and the eventual merging of Kirk's crew as we get to where no man has gone before. So we'll get actors. I have a feeling that we'll get an actor who plays Dr. Piper. Oh, yeah. Yes. So, yeah, yes. Yes, I'm with you there, Ed. He says, I'm kind of, yeah. Yes, I'm, yes, definitely. So he says, oh, interesting. I'm hoping, he says, I'm hoping that they can give them expanded episodes so it could be 6 longer episodes. Think along the line of season 3 of the Orville. Yeah, that because, with streaming, there's no limit to time. So, definitely. But they have been keeping the episodes between 45 and 60 minutes. So, I'm not sure, but that could be a possibility. I would probably, if they have the budget to do so, I'm encouraging the writers of Strange New Worlds to write longer episodes so we can actually have a proper farewell for this crew. Yes, yeah, and Chris said I want a number 1 spinoff. Yeah, definitely, because we need to know. I would like to know more about Una Chin Riley after she left the Enterprise. What did she do after that? I know that'd be kind of great. And Ed says, I think adhering to the 45-minute mark is allowing them to rebroadcast them on network television at a later date or possible syndication. Oh, yeah, that could be a possibility, considering that they aired 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds during I think it was 2023. They did that on CBS. So they did air 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds to celebrate which was then the 58th anniversary of Star Trek. So they did that for an anniversary. I know they did that. It was like on a Friday night. They did that. So they did that very much. So I think they did. Yeah, I think that may be possibly. But I'm hoping that they do longer episodes for the final 6 episodes. Do like longer episodes like the Orville and stuff like that. Because we need to get a proper farewell. Granted, we're gonna get a farewell from this crew, and thankfully we know about it ahead of time, because the Discovery one was kind of thrust upon us on the last moment. So, granted, I was expecting a 6th season, but I'm glad they ended. I'm kind of happy they ended with 5, because I really liked season 5 of Discovery more than season 4. So, definitely, I really did enjoy that. I'm hoping that will be longer episodes and get to where we will get to the crew of the Enterprise as we see them in Where No Man Has Gone Before. So we'll get an actor who plays Gary Mitchell. We'll get an actor who plays Dr. Mark Piper. We'll get an actress who plays Dr. Daner. Eventually, so that's what I'm expecting. It's going to happen. It's going to be because what they have done is how they gotten to the original series crew is that they've slowly introduced them over the course of the series so far. Like Scotty was introduced at the end of season 2. I think we'll probably get Sulu, the astrophysicist, sometime soon, even though he was not mentioned by name in Discovery. And then eventually down the line, we'll get other characters like Bones and what was the other one? What did I go? Chekhov. So we'll get Chekhov and stuff like that eventually down the line. And you never know if there's because someone mentioned this during the during our recording of the New Trek panel at Convergence. Someone mentioned about Walter Koenig could do a Chekhov stream still, so why can't you just have him scream again? So, so yeah. I wonder because if they do something for Chris says I wonder if any TOS actors will appear. I know that one of the directors for season 4 is directing a very special episode for its season, and I'm anticipating it's going to be the 60th anniversary episode of Star Trek episode. So, and I'm thinking that it'll be interesting to see if they actually do something amazing for it. But I'm not holding my breath. But I wonder. I mean, something still exciting to be excited for the diamond anniversary of Star Trek would be getting like one of the original series actors to appear. I would think. Granted, there's only like 4 left, but I wouldn't want Shatner, but maybe Takei or Koenig, for sure, and to be in there to make an appearance, because Koenig has already made an appearance in modern Star Trek as the voice of President Anton Chekhov in the Last Generation episode of Picard. So I'd be interested to see if any TOS actors will appear, because they still act. I mean, Shatner, Takei, and Koenig still do. So yeah, yeah, yes, it is only fair. I agree. Put Takei as the Federation president. Yes, I would be totally on board for that. And you know, it would be really great, Chris, if he was an ancestor, if he was like Sulu's father or grandfather. So I think definitely, I think that would be great. I think we will get that. I that's what I'm hoping for, because even though Walter Koenig did do the son of Chekhov in Picard as a voice cameo, I think it would be only fitting to do the same thing for Decay, to do like he's like his character would be only like his grandfather or his father. So I think that would be kind of great to see. I think it would be great. All right. Well, I'm I'm gonna wrap it up now. So but I'm gonna wrap it up like I normally like I do. So for Twin Cities Trekkies, we try to do episodes every Friday, and this is gonna be part of our normal routine now. We're gonna do a live show. This was only a fluke for this week because I honestly didn't. Yeah, of course. Thanks. Yeah. So I honestly didn't know that you needed to wait 24 hours before you can do a live stream on YouTube for the first time. So this is why it's today as opposed to last night. So so from now on, we'll do it at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time on Saturdays to talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And this episode is going to be in a podcast feed too. I'm just going to do a YouTube MP3 thing. It'll be just fine. But definitely encourage your friends, encourage your family to watch and, join in the conversation. I'll make it a live chat every time talking about it. And we'll be doing this on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central. That's 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be doing that. And then, so for next time, we'll be talking about episode 303. So definitely talk about that. So, but if you want to follow the podcast elsewhere, I know you both probably do listen to us, both you, Chris, and you, Ed. But for everyone else who's watching later or watching us later, go find us on your favorite podcast platform. We have a 5-star rating. We're getting close to 100 episodes of full-length episodes. And the next week is thank you, Ed, much appreciated. You said you already shared. That's great. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, and I hope that you will join us again on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds' third season, season 3, episode 3. So, but there will be only one exception to this rule, this obviously today, but then also on the 16th of August, due to a previous commitment, I will probably be going live earlier in the day to discuss it and stuff like that. So, but you will know well in advance about when that will be. But definitely about that. So I do appreciate everybody joining me today on the live stream, and we will see you on Saturday. Take care and live long and prosper, everybody.